The annual Hugs Not Bullets campaign has kicked off in an effort to keep the New Year celebrations around Metro Detroit peaceful. Youth leaders have teamed up with the Detroit Police Department to urge residents to bring in 2018 without firing guns. The students also lead workshops on gun violence, bullying, and gangs. The campaign is an activity of the Neighborhood Service Organization's Youth Initiatives Project. My next guest is the program director, Frank McGee. Thanks for being here again on American Black Journal. It's always good to see you.
You bet.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite events of the year, of our programs of the year, this idea that, hey, don't shoot off a gun to welcome the new year. Find some other way to express yourself. And you guys have been at this for a while now.
14 years.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is it's all youth driven.
Yeah.
This year's campaign is led by Darian Vesey of Cass Tech High School, who's only a sophomore.
Is that right?
And she is on fire. She's committed to the cause of a safe neighborhood and talked about it at the press conference last week.
Yeah, yeah. So I grew up in the city in the 70s and 80s. I can remember hearing gunshots then, right? On New Year's Eve as a way of bringing New Year. I go to New Orleans now for New Year's. I hear gunshots there. This is something that's been around and is part of, I don't want to say urban culture, but certainly cities for a good long time.
Absolutely. And I think the concern for the youth is the memories that that's left in the wake of all this. Every year you celebrate with gunfire, but then you had to think about the 2-year-olds or the 3-year-olds who hear it for the first time, and or the youth who had to go in the basement or get on the floor with the support of their families because they want them to be safe. And it's really about making sure our young people are safe. I don't care if one bullet affects one person. It's the memory that's left, and so you have to ensure that safety is there for our kids.
Yeah, I talk to some people sometimes and they say, well, I do it safely, right? I'm firing in the air. I'm not firing at anything. But that's a myth. I mean, any bullet that's discharged from any gun could be deadly, and we see that happen sometimes.
Correct. I've had you've told me that they were told, hey, you could use a firearm, just point it in the ground, and that way we could take care of the safety issue.
Yeah.
But the point is, we have to teach our kids about safety and responsible gun ownership. That's key. But we're also talking about what happens for the rest of the year.
Right.
The issue of gun violence.
Yes.
And that's something that a lot of the youth who live in the 48205 zip code and other parts of the city are concerned about, because they want to be able to go to and from school in a relatively safe way.
Yeah, not worrying about who has a gun and who doesn't.
Absolutely.
We recently saw a really unfortunate incident at Noel Night downtown in Detroit, where, for whatever reason, a young person felt like he needed to bring a gun with him and ended up shooting a couple of people. That's a reminder, I think, of just sort of how warped the perspective sometimes is for these kids. I mean, I think people mistakenly believe that these kids are aggressive or angry at somebody. Oftentimes, they feel like they're defending themselves.
Exactly, and unfortunately, during our youth had a press conference recently, launching a campaign with Chief James Craig, and Darian Vesey, the sophomore at Cass Tech, talked about that. Many of her classmates knew of the individuals and the circumstances about that, but Noel Night is supposed to be that peaceful opportunity where you can come and commune with everyone and really get in the spirit of what the holidays are all about. Unfortunately, that moment, that incident, sent a bad message. But most of the people who were there were determined not to let that situation deter their efforts to have a good time.
Right.
And that's the key. But from the youth's perspective, particularly Darian Vesey, her point was, we have to do more within our own peer group to make sure that folks are educated on the implications of gun violence, and also understand that what we do in this community, this is our community, this is our city as well. And so they want to be more involved in these activities such as Noel Night, without the worry that when you bring youth, you bring these type of behaviors. Most of the young people are relatively safe. They like honoring the laws and all that. They want to have fun just like everyone else.
Yeah.
And that's what they were pushing with this press conference. We just want to make sure that we're in a safer environment and that the city and the community supports us in that effort.
Yeah, that youth leadership component
is huge.
You work on that all the time with the kids all over the city. Talk about what you see from young people in this program and others in terms of their eagerness to be in that leadership role.
I think now we're seeing more of that. I think the challenge of that negative peer pressure that so many feel when they take up that responsibility, because so many youth avoid that and say, you know what, I'm just going to have fun, and well, I can. I'm only going to be 16 for a little bit, but and graduate and go on to college, what have you. But we have young people who think differently, and many of them have been impacted by by gun violence, or they've been impacted. Their families has been impacted in some way by what has occurred. So they have a different perspective.
Sure.
And even the ones who are involved in gang activity or formerly involved in gang activity have a different perspective. They do want to have safe communities and whatnot, and they make our best leaders. And if we give them that opportunity, they could take that route and really begin to provide the type of support even law enforcement personnel can use to help do that, which is necessary to keep us safe.
It is about opportunity. That's absolutely the right word.
It is about opportunity. I think we like the partnership, in particular as an adult, but for a lot of our young people, when they can be able to work side by side with dignitaries and law enforcement personnel, it sends a strong message, and that they're supported and they're cared about,
their voices matter.
And their voice is heard.
Yeah. All right. Congratulations again, and we'll see you soon.
You bet.